Extreme misogyny will be treated as a form of extremism under new government plans, the Home Office have said. Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, has ordered a review of the UK's counter extremist strategy to determine how best to tackle threats posed by harmful ideologies. The analysis will look at the hatred of women as one of the ideological trends that the government says is gaining traction. Miss Cooper said there has been a rise in extremism, both online and on our streets, that frays the very fabric of our communities and our democracy. The review will look at the rise of Islamist and far-right extremists in the UK, as well as wider ideological trends, including extreme misogyny or beliefs which fit into broader categories such as violence. Okay, we don't even need to go no more into that. So it looks as though the government are seeing the rise in online personalities, online influencers, people like, I'll say names, man. People like Andrew Tate, people like, what's the brother's name who passed a couple of years back? Samuels. What was his name, his first name? Kevin Samuels, who was the godfather of all of that. Man like Fresh and Fit, Pearly Things was another one. There's a bag of them. There's a bag of these platforms that were pushing the man v woman situation. Now, for me, it's crazy because I feel like as much as those people that I mentioned have their flaws, yeah, and I've watched all of them within reason, but I'm not no fan of anybody, full stop. But I almost believe, Stephen, let me say it as it is. I believe that those people only were given traction based on the rise of feminism. Stephen, I've never seen a point in life where there are women who have so much animosity towards men. Like, I've never ever known this. Like, I don't know where it's come from. I don't know how it's come about. But there are just women who have a hate towards men for whatever reason. At one point, I used to believe maybe they've been hurt, maybe, father problems, all of that. But now I'm seeing women who have grown up in privileged situations. Mom and dad have been there their whole life, married, home, stable home, all of that, and still somehow hate men or dislike men strongly. And that's because of the rise of a lot of these online stories, Me Too, all of these different things where a lot of women, there were even some women who were just making things up. And I feel like based on that, and because that went unnoticed, that was allowed to just grow. That was allowed to just go take over the internet. And there was no comeback to that. And that's how people like Kevin Samuels were risen up online. The explosion of Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, all of these platforms, they blew up because of nobody combating the rise of feminism. So for me, I ain't got no problem with making that an extremist thing, but you got to make feminism extremist as well, because they have created a lot of hate, not just in our communities, but in all communities. They've created a lot of hate too, with their hate of men, with their unreasonable hate of men. I keep telling girls all the time, just because you had a bad experience with a man, that don't mean all men are like that. That's the man you chose. Some of these girls, Stephen, are actually meeting men, red flags are all over them, and they still walk through the door and then turn around and say, these men are no good. After you made that decision, after you decided to do that, These guys are staying up talking about, yo, I'm going to get the bag. I'm doing anything for the bag. And then when you go and get the bag and you realize that it comes with a few stipulations, now all men are effing. I don't get it, man. Honestly, Stephen, I'm puzzled. I'm so puzzled. So without that, there is no this. There is no toxic masculinity without that. These men have been able to push agendas online because a lot of these men online, they don't know what to do. They don't know if they're going or coming. All of this baby mother drag. You know how much, man, I've personally dealt with on a personal level that I've gone through hell with women. You know, like, this is just crazy. So all I can say to man is this, you know. All I can say to you, man, is this. Just live your life, man, innit? Just live your life. Lay out a set of morals for your life and live by them. That's it, because it come in like it's one rule for one and another rule for another. Because to me, I've seen some real hateful, some real campaigns that are built around the hate of men, where I've actually been looking and saying to myself, like, that's unjustified, that hate of man. That's unjust. There was a woman, Stephen, who she must have had a bad experience with her baby's father. And she just started pushing nothing but interracial rhetoric, like just making out that like white men are the savior, like just talking down on black men, just completely making all these clips and YouTube videos and TikTok videos and hey guys, and yeah, these men are no good, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're raising two black men and you hate, like, I feel sorry for some of these men. That's why now what you're seeing happening, Stephen, is like with Dwayne Wade's son, man are coming in and talking about that.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to be a boy no more because it's these emotional women raising them. So for me, make it a crime for everybody, not just for the man, not just for the woman. Anyone who's pushing that rhetoric, that hateful rhetoric towards either gender, make it extreme, make them extremists. It can't just be for the men. Because again, I'm going to say this one last time. Without the explosion of feminism, you don't have an Andrew Tate. Without this no accountability era, you don't get a Kevin Samuels. You don't get a Pearly Things. You don't get a Fresh and Fit. Even some of these men, you don't get these man. If you knock these guys out the way and make it. Some of these gal, you know, Stephen, they're the same as the brother in Friday After Next. Yeah, man, when I was broke, I was in the hood talking about I love the hood. And as soon as I got money, I was gone. That's
Right.
like these gal. I'm saying I hate men. All these men ain't shit. I hate all these men. But as soon as you got a man, you're gone. Talk to me, Stephen, man. It's the Express Truth Unfiltered. Hit that like button, folks.
You said it all, you know, Beth. You said it all, man. Like, I'm just fed up with all. What do you call it? Red pill.
Red pill.
I'm sick of it all. Whether you're on the red pill man side, the feminism side, you're in the middle. I'm just fed up with it. I just want a change of pace and a change of conversation, man.
Facts.
Because it's just people talking around in circles. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they're doing this misogyny thing in the UK, I just think it coming like what we were speaking about 2 weeks ago and the quote unquote riots and everything. Sometimes I feel like the system really doesn't know what they're doing, you know, and they're just trying to wind up the people. Because have they not consistently been harping on about prisons are full? Now you want to put not just men, now you want to put people in prison over this. You just said they were full. Even off the back of these riots and everything, you said the prisons are full.
Facts.
So you're making up new things and stuff. Yeah, I can understand misogyny is an issue within the underbelly of society. Like, it's right up there with selling cocaine and heroin. But I swear certain people only found out this word existed 2 years ago, you know, and still don't know the meaning of it.
Real talk.
But now people go on like it's the worst thing to happen since slavery. Listen, get your priorities straight. If you still want to get your panties in a bunch over this, then that's your prerogative. But I feel like myself and the rest of the rational thinking world are gonna not worry about, but just go after things that are in their own control, man. Like, I ain't got time to worry about this, man.
Real talk, real talk. But you know what it is though? As much as you try and ignore this era, yeah, of man v woman, red pill, I believe that it's difficult, you know, because I think it's almost like a swimming pool, yeah. Somebody tips a dye into a swimming pool. You can stand up in the corner and hide from the dye. You can try and hide from it, you know, but eventually it's spreading at a rapid pace until eventually it creeps into your personal life. Could be a family member, an associate who is almost taken on a certain ideology, whether it's an ideology of that it's the man to blame. Like for conversation's sake, coming off that a second, giving an example. Today I was looking at you know that girl, Mimi, the music blogger. You know who that is?
I think I've heard of her.
It's like a girl from London who does like music reviews and stuff. Anyway, she must have went out with her friends and she was doing like a parody song about, you know, that they love black men and stuff like that. Not just some harmless fun. Some ladies having harmless fun. They say, oh, we love black men and rare, rare. They're just having harmless fun. Anyway, in the comments, Stephen, girls are like, what you mean you love black men? They don't love us. What you mean you love black men? They love snowbodies. Please show me a black man that I can sing about. I'm like, yo.
That whole conversation's annoying. I've just come to the realization that there's a certain percentage, and unfortunately, there are some sisters who fall into that group that just straight up hate men, particularly when it comes to the interracial thing. That's why I'm kind of glad we said we stopped saying the love is blind thing, because it don't make no sense. Because I see it all the time. It's only an issue when a black geezer steps outside the race. When it's a woman, everyone's for it. Love knows no color. Love has no bounds. You sing it from the rooftop. I'll give you an example. This is straight off the top of the dome. Usher and his ex Chili, who was formerly of TLC. You know, they're both with non-black people now. If you check Chili's comments, it's, oh yeah, man, do your thing. You're killing it. Oh, it worked for Serena and Eve, where everyone's on the Usher saying, oh, you hate black women. And I've never heard him publicly come out and say anything about sisters. Plus, he has black children.
Facts.
You just don't want men to be happy. Just say you hate them and just keep it moving. It'll make your life easier.
Facts. Facts. It's true. Just admit it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's hard, innit, with this conversation. As much as you try and stay away from it, and as much as you try and navigate around it, it's a sickness that's spreading, which is why I'm like, yo, we ain't going to really truly see the effects of all of this stuff until 10 years, 15 years down the line. You won't see it until then. And then hopefully the next generation or the generation after that get it right and start kicking out some of these habits that have poisoned our communities today with the hate of. And a lot of people will say like, oh, well, it's only online. But people, online is how most people live their lives, no?
Facts.
Most people have their conversations online. You see most of your family through online. Some people see their family more online than offline. Most people live their life online. They get up. People are sleeping with their phone under their pillow. As they get up, boom, checking socials, boom, checking this. How do I know this? Fam, I've been seeing, if you go on Twitch, there's people that live stream like them just living their normal everyday life. Like, I'm not talking about not no content, none of that's even just folding clothes or sleeping.
Yeah, but
it's crazy.
I believe you, Kate, because remember that is that's what you have to do. If you do that 24-hour streaming, because even if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go out and do stuff for content, it's 24-hour streaming. So like there might be a month, because I know Kai and all them did it where you don't turn off the camera. Them man had it on them when they're sleeping as well. It's just we just live in a weird place now.
Man had it on them when they showered.
Like, I don't know why you'd want to watch that.
That's where we've gone to now. That's where we've gone to now. And that's what I'm saying. Socials, what happens on socials is really like serious now. Like back in the day, we could say, it's just some nonsense online. That ain't real. But you are seeing like this narrative being pushed heavily right now. And I'm just saying, like, if we don't call these things out, I know obviously the quiet, you know, the popularity vote goes for those who are pushing this, but in the future, people will look back and they will to know, yo, nah, man, that was wrong, that was damaging, and now the Home Office have done this. My whole thing is this, and this is the last thing I'll say. My whole thing is this: make it illegal for both groups, and you'll stop it.
Facts.
Stop the woman them from pushing hate, and stop the men from pushing hate. And let's get back to a happy place